Hi, this video I'm going to go through the marks book settings for a program. So if I select the middle of the program here, we're looking at the cover page and we're going to go to marks book settings here. All right, this looks a little bit different than it did in the old SEQTA. So first of all, the most importantly, the course type must be correct. There's a lot of different course types you can choose. Marks based is all of the 7 to 10 courses marks based. Some of them may be grades based. We've got VET courses, WASTE courses, so these are all the E11 and 12 courses. WASTE course practical for those that have a practical component, right? So external VET classes. So, but for most 7 to 10 classes, we're talking about marks based. Global cutoffs, we can use a template for those cutoffs. The basic one applies, and you can have a look at what that looks like. So marks based cutoff is the one that we have here. You can change the range of A, B, C, D, E grades, so you can change these numbers here. So this one goes from 64.5 to 74.5, okay? So you can change the template that applies by default to all of the assessments. Down the bottom here, assessment groups. At the moment, we've just got one big group. You could have, for example, a practical and theory group, so two completely separate parts in the marks book. I'm going to add a group here that's called semester 1, and yep, that'll be that color there. And this, let's call this one semester 1. And I'm going to add a group called semester 2, and you can see they have different colors there. Available on reports, yes. You could add a group here called homework. It could be practical theory. You can add as many different groups as you like. Notice that the weighting here for semester 1 and semester 2 is 100 and 100. So you might want to, if you do this, let's say a theory group, and the weighting for that is 60, and I can add another group here that's called practical, and you might want to make the weight of that 40. If you set it up that way, any assessments that you put in the theory group will be weighted at 60% of the final mark. Let's say we got rid of these top two here, 60% of the final mark, whereas the practical would only be weighted at 40. Now if that's something that's required by SCASA, that's a really nice way to set this up. Then you might have 20 assessments in the practical section. They would only count as 40% of the final mark. You might only have 2 theory marks. That would count as 60% of the final mark. Last thing I want to show you is how to put assessments into these different assessment groups. So if I head over to the overview of assessments, you can see I've got a demo assessment set up in here, and right at the top underneath the title you've got the group. So we can either choose semester 1 or semester 2 to put that assessment in. So that's how you set the assessment and which group it actually goes into.